Hello and welcome once again to the Company Interiors YouTube channel. My name's Nick Clark, and in today's video a playlist in actual fact of festive displays using a lot of our preserved plants. Denise Caldwell is our floral stylist, and she's going to demonstrate how you can use some of these products to make some amazing festive displays this year. So if you're interested in any of the products used in today's video, they're all linked in the description below this video. You can also always subscribe to our channel. Please do click the notification bell and leave us any comments in the description. We love to read those and we answer all of them for you. So let's go and have a look at Denise's festive displays.
Hi, Denise here from Company Interiors. Today I want to show you how to make a rose display using an Ikebana inspired arrangement. This is a Japanese style of flower arranging, typically very elegant, simple displays. Mine's not going to be a pure Ikebana. I know there's lots of rules to follow if you're a purist, but it's just inspired by that methodology. One of the things you're going to need for this is a little floral design frog. These come in different sizes, usually 2-inch or 3-inch sizes, and they're very heavy. It's like a heavy weighted piece that can go in the bottom of a vase or a container to put your flowers into. You just need to place that into whatever display vessel you're using. So in this particular case, because as I say I'm doing this Ikebana style, I'm going to go with a low, shallow dish. Mine happens to be square. It doesn't have to be. It can be any type of low dish that you have and that you'd like to work with. Now, oftentimes with these displays, obviously you'd be using fresh flowers, which would require you to put water in the base of this. Because I'm using preserved flowers in this case today, they don't need any water. So the beauty of this is you can just make your arrangement and it'll last you for a long time. So on top of the little frog, to cover that up and cover up the bottom of your arrangement, I'm going to use some clear pebbles just from the dollar store, and that will look pretty in the bottom of my arrangement instead of water. Go ahead and tip those in. You can do this piece at the end as well, but I like to do it at the beginning so that you don't risk moving your flowers in your arrangement. And then just, if you can see that on camera, keep your frog exposed while you're doing your display. So the pieces I'm going to work with today, I have our preserved roses. Now these come beautifully packaged in individual containers. These are fresh, not fresh, but real roses that have been preserved. And they're very, very fragile, beautiful, gorgeous flowers. Now what I do when I first receive mine, take them out of the box. And then for this particular type of arrangement, I'm going to remove the leaves. I'm going to use a different type of foliage for my arrangement, and I don't want the rose leaves. I want to keep a more simple line on my arrangement. So I'm just going to go ahead and trim off the leaves from my flower. Now the other thing I would do when I'm preparing these little flowers is just gently loosen the petals slightly. Now they still feel like fresh roses, gorgeous colors, and so if you just loosen them slightly, you can sort of expose that bud. Obviously if you'd like a tight little bud, then that works as well, but in my case I'm just going to loosen them slightly to have slightly more flower exposed. And the other thing I would maybe do sometimes is take off the outer petals. So occasionally when you take them out of the box, some of the outer petals might be sort of slightly more discolored, let's say. Just like when you receive fresh flowers, you just sort of tweak them a little bit to make sure you have the best elements exposed. So I'll go ahead again and take off the leaves, take off the plastic collar. Obviously you don't need that came out of the box, and just get these all ready to go. So now I have 3 roses. Now the other thing you may notice is the size. I've got one of the extra tall length ones and 2 of the slightly smaller medium length. I don't remember offhand the dimensions of these, but they're all available on our site. Let's move that debris. Now the foliage I'm working with is these gorgeous dark green cocculus leaves, I think they're called. They're beautiful, almost like a leathery feel. Very, very stable, sturdy, and beautiful deep green colors, if you can see that on camera. Just lovely, lovely things to work with. So I have a few different pieces of them. Some I've already cut up smaller. This is the length they come in when you first start from your bouquet. And a couple that I've already trimmed down slightly. And then the other elements I'm doing, because we're getting near the holiday season, I'm working with pink roses here, but you could easily work with red ones as well if you wanted to go with the holiday theme. In my case, I'm going to work with a pink rose so that I have this arrangement for all year round, but I'm going to embellish it with some of the wintry elements to sort of take us into the holiday season. So I have these gorgeous silver twigs and these snow white twigs. They're kind of not quite sure what they're covered in, but they give a sort of snow effect on them. So I'm going to work with some of those as well to make this into more of a holiday themed for today. So that's all you need. So a pair of clippers, your frog I guess is the important piece for the floral design, your arrangement, and then I'm just going to start assembling it. So let's see if we can put this together. So I'm going to start with one of the green cocculus leaves. This is like a taller stem. Now all I did here was I trimmed one of the long branches, and I trimmed it from the top and slightly from the bottom. So if you trim to where a leaf is jutting out, but just to give you that long, thin arrangement piece. And I'm going to place that sort of slightly off center towards where I want the back of my arrangement to be. And you press it firmly down into the little frog. So these, because they're fresh, I keep saying fresh, preserved, because they're preserved leaves, they are real stems, and they work just like a fresh flower. So there's no plastic in there, nothing to hinder your arrangement. So I'm going to work with one to that side. I'm going to place another one, again, trying to do it for the camera here so you can see, slightly to the right, up to the left of it. So if you can see that, I have one protruding up, one slightly sideways, just to give my green element. And I'm going to start working with my roses. This is my tallest one. I think I'm going to leave that full length. Just going to trim the bottom slightly, just so I have a nice flat edge to my stem. And again, because these are actual real flowers, the stems operate exactly like a fresh flower would do. I'm going to place that into my frog, so I have that straight up the middle. So these little frogs have like little metal pins poking out the bottom of them, so really you're just inserting your elements onto the pins. Now this is the rose I just took out of the box. I'm just going to tweak the petals slightly on here. Just a couple that I didn't care for. Loosen them slightly. Just do it gently with your fingers. You could also use a little knife or something, but just be very careful with it. You don't want to damage your rose. Again, make sure the bottom is flat. And I'm going to place this one on the other side at a slightly about 45-degree angle, I'd say. Just like that. And then the third one, just going to put it, I'm going to make this one shorter and put it on the other side. So in this case, I'm going to take slightly more off of my stem. A couple of inches, just so it's slightly smaller. And place that on the other side. Again, just push it in at a slight angle, like that. Now I'm going to try and put in a few of these branches and see how this looks. I'm kind of doing it in real time, so we'll see how we like it once we put the pieces in. I'm going to cut a piece off of my silver branch. Now the key to these arrangements is to keep it simple. They're not supposed to be multiple items. They're supposed to be elegant styles so that you can see each of the pieces that you've got in your arrangement. So I'm going to place mine slightly on the right there of that other rose. And again, just pressing it into the frog. And already I think I'm going to just slightly move this particular rose. There are lots of, if anyone's watching who is familiar with the Japanese style of Ikebana arrangements, there are lots of actual rules to doing these arrangements. But for our purposes, I'm less concerned about rules and more just concerned about making a sort of a simple arrangement pleasing to the eye that anybody could do. Of course, if you'd like to study up on the technicalities of Ikebana design, that's perfect too, and any of these preserved products can be used for these arrangements. And as I said before, the nice thing about this is because you don't require water for them, once you've gone to the trouble of making your arrangement, you have it for a long time to come. You don't have to just have them die on you within a short period. I'm going to place another one of these little snow ones on the opposite side. Hopefully you can see that on camera as that's coming along. I think I quite like that just the way it is. I might do one more small leaf on the opposite side. And I'm going to trim off some leaves off of this side. I'm going to balance it on the other way. I'm placing this one behind the other arrangement and protruding to the right. You can see that on camera. Now I'm just going to re-trim the base. Sometimes some of the pieces, because they're smaller stems, they might take a little bit more to carefully make sure it's secured in your frog. Actually, I think maybe I liked it better without that piece, so I don't know. This is the kind of thing that you can do trial and error. Put them in, take them out. Instead of that, I think maybe I'll use another piece of silver. Yeah, I'm going to go with the silver in the back here instead. There we go. I think that's looking nice just like that. So I'm going to cover up the base now with my stones so that you can't see the mechanics. And there we have it. Very pretty, elegant rose display. Lovely for your home. It would also make a beautiful gift if you're looking for something to give somebody this season. Something that could last on somebody's shelf for a long time to come. So I hope you enjoyed that. Check back with us for more designs. Thanks very much for watching.